Welcome back to Metropole Television. So just before we took the break, we did say that let's talk about personal protective equipment which you are using, which you are selling, which you are procuring right now within the Kenyan market. Question being, are you aware of their quality? And what standards are we talking about for personal protective equipment? We've seen some headlines of some sanitizers getting kicked out of the Kenyan market, or the licenses of the companies that are manufacturing them getting cancelled because we do know KEBS has given them a proper focus. So this morning, let's speak to the body itself, KEBS, to tell us exactly what it is that we need to know around this area, which ones are those that they have put a proper focus on, and how do you know that what you are using today to protect yourself, that sanitizer, that gown, right, that mask, that it's the quality that it needs to be within the Kenyan market. Joining us this morning, therefore, from KEBS, we do have Adelbert Omooria from KEBS. How are you doing, sir?
Very well, thank you.
Welcome to Metropole Television.
Thank you.
All right. So why is this conversation important? The quality of personal protective equipment right now within the Kenyan economy.
As you are aware, right now we have a pandemic. And during this pandemic, naturally Kenyans want to protect themselves because it's a killer disease. Mm-hmm. Therefore, as KEBS as an organization, it is of course at the forefront, ensuring that all protective equipment that are used to actually achieve that goal of protecting you against this killer disease and any other diseases, is we ensure that we standardize all the PPEs, so that when you have it on your face or on yourself as a covering, then you are sure that it's actually doing the actual protection.
Pretty much. Just before we get to those areas, because there are a lot of questions that we did get yesterday when we told our audience that we're actually going to talk about this morning.
Yes.
Did you expect that you'll be running, as KEBS, that you'll be running into a challenge of many personal protective equipment, since it was made law now that you have to walk around protecting yourself?
Well, since this is a new experience for Kenyans to wear masks, expectations on our part is to ensure that whatever one is using meets requirements. So we have formulated specifications that are geared towards ensuring that those protective equipment, be it masks, be it gloves, be it face shields, gowns, shoes protections, we have specifications. And in fact, because it was rather abrupt, the process of making a Kenya standard specification is about 2 years. And as a result of ensuring that this protective equipment is actually rolled out, is committees were set up. That's why we have standards that have taken shorter, like Kenya publicly available specifications that take a shorter periods to actually ensure that they can be used while the standard is in progress. So that is happening. And you will find that, for instance, for things like gloves, we have standards that we use, that we have adopted, that are external in nature. South Africa, the US, and those are the ones that we are using. Because no one was expecting COVID, so we couldn't have planned for COVID as an organization.
Pretty much.
So we all found ourselves in the midst of it, and we have to react as an organization that is responsible for standardization.
All right.
Yes.
So now we've seen a couple of headlines of KEBS cancelling some licenses for some companies manufacturing sanitizers. So how do you tell the public that is watching this headline, how do you know, therefore, that the sanitizer that I'm buying from a supermarket or from a vendor in the street is the quality that you as KEBS have therefore ascertained?
Well, the chemicals that are used to fight COVID-related infections
Yes.
are sanitizers, disinfectants, and bleachers. So we have a standard for sanitizers. Mm-hmm. In this sanitizer, during certification, we check for the alcohol content,
yes,
which is actually the active component that is responsible for killing the viruses, so to speak,
yes,
or the bacteria.
Yes.
So we also check for the pH, and maybe some of them have bacteria efficacy. Mm-hmm. So that we also check.
Yes.
So once you have applied for the mark, we take you through a very rigorous system, yeah, which is actually documented in some of the procedures that we have established.
Yes.
And in those procedures, once you comply with the parameters that are critical in the standard,
yes,
then you're given the mark.
I see.
However, now when you go out, some individuals have been found to make something that is less standard, so to speak,
yes,
does not meet the specifications therein. If they do that, we have a market surveillance section at KEBS, or we can catch that aspect through the media,
yes,
or complaints. So market surveillance will go out and confiscate and even ensure that those companies are suspended,
yes,
from the active database that we have at KEBS that shows people who are complying or people who are making good sanitizers.
Yes.
So that particular individual, once we do that, we give them serious conditions to come back again to start making those sanitizers.
I see now.
Yes.
All right. Now, you have to agree that Kenyans are very enterprising. In fact, when it was announced that masks was going to be part of our daily lives,
yes,
you could see now masks are pretty much full in the streets. You can get them at whatever price
yes,
that is that you want to get.
Yes.
Is KEBS aware that, yes, now that Kenyans are actually making these masks by themselves, and how to go about quality assurance of these masks as individuals themselves are making? And do they have to apply to you first before they go to the street?
Well, when you have a mask on your face,
yes,
it depends what exactly you want, why you have put it there. Why have you put this mask?
I see.
At this time, if I see anyone with a mask, naturally I want to understand that he's protecting himself from the virus.
Yes.
We have different types of masks. We have PPE, N95.
Yes.
N95 offers you the best protection against the virus because you are targeting the virus. So N95 would give you over 95% protection.
Yes.
That is ideally what you are targeting. However, you see the price range for N95 is prohibitive for most Kenyans. Mm-hmm. Therefore, the second category is we have surgical masks, the blue ones that you see most people wearing.
Yes.
Those ones are also used for medical, in medical establishments.
Yes.
And those ones will also be offering you over 90% protection. That's ideally where you're going to.
Yes.
However, when you walk in the streets, and even when I was coming into this station, I saw a few individuals out here wearing cloth masks, very brightly, nicely colored.
Yes.
Cloth masks offer you zero protection
from
against the virus.
Yes.
About 50% bacteria, dust, and any suspended particles.
Yes.
So you can see those ones are the ones that you find most Kenyans wearing.
Yes.
They're actually wearing those, ideally maybe to protect themselves against the police. But if you want to deal with the virus, I recommend that you think serious. Go for the surgical mask,
yes,
which has 3 layers. The center layer is a filter. It's a very fine filter that as you're breathing in or out, remember the mask is you're protecting yourself,
yes,
and also protecting the individual next to you. As you're breathing out, that center layer, which is a filter, very fine filter, will not allow the virus either way.
Yes.
That is what you're going in for. So the people who we have caught up with selling or offering for sale substandard what are they called again? Substandard PPEs,
yes.
surgical masks.
Yes.
We have actually confiscated, like in the month of June and May, we have confiscated and destroyed over 3 million masks. And the exercise is still ongoing until, as long as COVID is going to be with us, and we are playing that critical role of ensuring that all masks that are meant to protect whichever Kenyan is wearing, we will ensure that we are going to have proper masks.
Pretty much. Now, there's a big focus on cabs, especially when we're talking about the quality of products that now Kenyans are using on a higher scale now within the Kenyan economy. Are you saying that should I go to your website, there's a database of the companies that I can trust or that have been given the green light, therefore, to give me that sanitizer or that mask? Because we do know now that we are also manufacturing some of these PPEs locally now.
Yes. Well, before the onset of COVID-19, we didn't have a company manufacturing any face masks.
Yes.
However, currently we have over 105 making surgical masks. We have 3 that have already set up for N95, and we are not certifying currently. We are not, or we have not certified anyone that is making cloth masks. Now, if I understood your question correctly, what it means is Kenyans must be alive to the fact that KEBS has a database. KEBS has a database,
yes,
and that database, we have a code. If you send, if you go to a supermarket and you want to buy something, and it has a mark, and you are doubtful about its validity, then you have a way to interrogate via SMS, or with the Android phones, smartphones, you can download our KEBS. We have an app, which you can just find out whether whatever you are seeing on the spot is complying or not. So the database, exists. You are able to interrogate it as a customer for verification of whether this company is valid or not.
Pretty much. Now, this is another question that we got from part of our audience when we teased this interview this morning, is that the headlines that we normally get from KEBS is that such and such company's license has been cancelled. Fine. So why don't we get the same announcement that now they have been reinstated back into the economy once they meet the set standards? Because they're saying, some of the times you get that this one was cancelled, a bigger headline that normally travels around, but then after some time you get the same products in the market under the pretext that now we have met the standards. Is there a way that we do know that these ones were cancelled and then now they have been reintroduced again?
Well, during cancellation, in the letter that is forwarded to the company that is telling you your business or your permit has been cancelled, we give you stringent conditions of what to meet before we can reinstate your permit. And a typical example would be, you are required, if you are the company that we have given a letter, we would tell you to recall all the products that you have supplied to the market from that specific batch or that specific manufacturer that happened on that day. Subsequently, we would tell you to establish the root cause for that failure that we have picked in the market. And we would also request you to make corrective action. The moment you make corrective action or meet the requirements of that initial letter, then you will now reapply for reinstatement. You come there, we send our inspectors to the field, they do testing. They actually do now a more rigorous inspection. Once you have been given a clean bill of health, then what happens is that we, through the natural channels, we are given a letter and told that you can restart and continue with now your current quality status. However, I don't know of a situation where, because when you are being suspended, the reason we put it in the media, is so that most Kenyans can actually now catch it. Say, this unga is very bad,
yes,
and you do not want to eat it.
Yes.
If you continue eating it and it has aflatoxins, you realize what happens. That's poison.
Yes.
So we want it to be in the media. We want everyone to know from today, tomorrow, no more such unga.
Yes.
Now, once you are back, you see, it is the punitive effect that has had that will make you realize that in future, you need to ensure you do not play around with the quality
of your product.
Yes.
Is fine.
Yes.
Good. Let's talk about what you just mentioned, because I know now in the month of June you've almost destroyed over 3 million face masks alone.
Yes.
How would you therefore rate the quality of these products, the PPEs that we have right now in the market, just going by that number alone?
Well, you will 3 million is not necessarily an indicator that the market is that bad.
Yes.
3 million are masks that can come from a single factory.
I see.
And maybe if you are not very careful, you may think that the masks that we caught up with are very defective. However, with the onset of the specification, which is 2636, that
yes.
is the specification.
Yes.
Specification for face masks. Therein, previously, when we started this, we were allowing, as a temporary measure, knitting. You know, you knit around, and that's what we were allowing.
Yes.
So that at least there can be some emergency masks in the market. However, now subsequently, there are some companies that have not progressed. Most companies, even up to 8 of them, have bought new machines which can do the pressing. If you look at a mask now, it's very nice to have it on your face.
Yes.
It's like almost, a cosmetic, something that...
It feels good, yes.
Therefore, that is why I am saying we have removed the defective ones.
Yes.
Other companies are not making defective.
Yes.
So when we make defective, we remove them from the market. What does that mean? That all face masks are wrong? No. It means that specific companies who are caught up with, we have removed, we suspend them, they come back again, reapply. When they comply, we reinstate.
Pretty much.
Yes.
All right. Now, there's another question again, Mr. Adelbert, as we're talking about just knowing whether what you have is good from a consumer perspective.
Yes.
I want to go back again to this face mask that we keep on talking about, because that's exactly what most people are using now in the economy.
Yes.
Price. You'll find some are going for 200, some are going for 150, some are going for as low as 30 shillings. From a quality perspective this morning from KEBS,
yes,
would we say that price would also be a pointer to the quality of the product that you have on your face?
I don't think so.
Yes.
From as a quality person, I would never look at the price of an item.
Yes.
If the item is functioning, it is performing as per the requirements of the specification, the pricing is a factor that if you're a company, maybe wherever you are sourcing your raw materials, wherever you're getting whatever your inputs are, that is what determines your price or the market.
Yes.
So if for instance, today I was making face masks and I want to sell them, if I take my consignment to Madare, for instance,
yes,
I would be inclined to think about the price on the lower scale. Maybe they could be the same face masks. But if I stock them at village market, you see, the same face mask will be a bit higher because maybe my overheads are high.
Yes.
Yes.
Pretty much. All right, now there's another question again. Yes. I'm just going to keep on throwing the questions that we got. Now, when you compare, I do know that at the onset of the COVID-19, most of the PPEs that were coming in were getting imported into the country. Yes. That's what we did rely on up to a certain time, yes, when we could now fully manufacture our own PPEs. Yes. Would you say that you would tell a quality difference between the ones that were coming in and the ones that we are able to manufacture right now when it comes to standards?
Initially, when we were doing stitching, you could tell the difference that this is an import and this is not.
Yes.
Now you cannot tell. Maybe the only way you can tell that this is imported and this is local is by looking at the marking.
I see.
Saying this is Guangzhou and this one is Kericho.
Okay.
That is the only way you can tell.
Yes.
Now, all masks, both imported and locally made, look the same.
Yes.
They look the same.
Pretty much. So finally, as we clear this conversation of the quality of PPEs within the Kenyan economy,
Yes.
what are our chances of quality therefore? I know you're now trying to make sure that everything is there too, the standards that you've already set are there too. Do you think we're going to get to a place where, when it comes to health issues, especially personal protective equipment, because a very critical part of the economy as well, even when talking about the health of people, and right now we're talking about rising cases as well of COVID-19 within the economy. How critical is this point from KEBS? I know it's a new docket now that you have to look into, the personal protective equipment, but how critical is it? And do you foresee a scenario where we're going to reach some levels that you as KEBS want us to reach when it comes to personal protective equipment within the Kenyan economy?
Well, if I now look at this issue like another Kenyan, not necessarily a fellow from KEBS, is that I hope this pandemic is ending soon, so that we concentrate, more as KEBS on standards and specifications that assist us to grow. Because as you may realize, you are now doing more defense than growth.
I see.
Going into the COVID related specifications. We are happy to be associated with such. We are happy to guarantee you that whatever you are using that has been standardized or certified by KEBS is good quality. That we are happy. In fact, right now, the priorities of KEBS is COVID related right now. So that when it ends, we are alive at least, so that we say we played a major role. We ensured that whatever we were supposed to do, we did it, and what we did was correct. The only disappointment is that I hope, and sometimes I hope that manufacturers of masks who are listening, remember you're making those masks so that you sell them. For you, your interest is to make money. And who are your customers? The customers are the people who are putting them on. And instead of you making a good mask, you're making a mask without a filter, or maybe inside there is a net. And your customer tomorrow will be dead, unfortunately. So who will you sell the next mask to? So if you think along those lines, you'll build a market for your PPEs. Think that way, you will never play around with anyone's life.
Pretty much. All right, what a better way to end that conversation this morning. Now you do know that whatever it is that you're putting on in terms of the cloth mask, you do know exactly what it is protecting. And KEBS has it from us that whatever they're doing right now is pretty much COVID-19 related in terms of the assurance of quality within the personal protective equipment side within the economy right now. Take him back to the time that he came to the studio at Metropole TVKE across all your social media platforms, and we promise those questions that you've sent in through 2146 keep sending them in, because we are going to forward it to KEBS so that he can actually give you those one-on-one responses around your personal protective equipment quality as you continue to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. We take a short break. Once we come back, the economic review here on Metropole Television.